Hello pretties, it's Angela here, and today's video is our monthly double color jewelry collaboration challenge video for the month of April 2023. And this month's challenge is to use black and gray. The metal choice color was silver or gunmetal. We had to make a necklace and incorporate some kind of chain in it. And since I figured, necklace, chain should be pretty easy. I'm gonna try to, I'm to be honest, completely honest. I know I'm a day late getting this video posted. I have not made anything yet, so I had a lot of ideas during the week. I just couldn't get myself to sit down and do anything to make. But so I do not actually have a specific plan. So this should be interesting. We're going to do this together. And I did pull out some black and silver crystal beads. Just a whole bunch of little things around here. I have black and I have gunmetal and silver chain that I pulled out. I have some gunmetal spacer beads that look kind of antique. I found these silver spacer bars. So I was going to try to do, and I have some jump rings over here off to the side. But we're going to do this together. But I want to go ahead and mention May. If you are participating in the challenge and you don't have the sheet, if you want to start participating now, please join in. For May, it's going to be peach and pearl white. Copper or silver are the metal choices to make a bracelet and use something filigree. That's the fun element that's optional. So if you do participate in the challenge, please remember to use the hashtag Pirate Pretty Jewelry Challenge so that we can type that in and find everybody's projects for all of this year. There's also some from last year of people that participated. I enjoy so much seeing everybody's projects. I get a lot of inspiration from them. And if you're not on YouTube and don't want to post a video, I do have a Facebook page that will be in the description box below for the link for that. You can join the Facebook group and share your projects there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and move this off to the side, and we're just going to start creating. So you can kind of see my crazy mental process here. like I said, I have absolutely no plan other than I think I want to try to make a 3-strand necklace because I did find the spacer bars that I think are really, really pretty in silver. And on one side, they have the rhinestones in clear. So I thought those were really pretty. So I'm going to try to incorporate that. I did cut 3 pieces of beading wire. I think I cut them to about 14 inches. I probably won't need that. The only thing I'm thinking is I want to try to do maybe some kind of a section in the middle with the 3 spacer bars, and I pulled out 4. I can pull out more, but I'm thinking maybe I can make a 4-section. I guess it would be 3 sections in between the 4 spacers. And what I'm going to do, I'm not exactly sure yet. I told y'all this is a fly by the seat of my pants kind of project here, which is what I would be doing if I was off camera. Just creating as I go. Whoops. But anyway, I'm going to do these 4. And what I'm thinking, my original plan right now, it would be to make 3 sections in between these spacers of the black and silver, possibly using some of these really pretty filigree bead caps. Not bead caps, filigree beads, because they do also, in gunmetal, have the clear rhinestones in them. So I'm going to pour out, let me move these out of the way. I'm going to pour out some of these right here. And we may incorporate some of those. And I do have some silver bead caps. I'm not sure if they'll work with these, but we'll see. I'll pour some of those out and we'll see as we go. I do also have some clamshells over here to the side, which I'm thinking I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to attach these to the chain. But if I want to use the clamshells, I'll pull them out. I found this really pretty clasp that I had bought. I don't even remember where I got this from. But may have been one of the jewelry bead shows that I picked this up at. But it's a really pretty clasp, and I figured it would go really pretty with the black and silver. So I took that out. I'm thinking that may be the clasp. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of my little bead buddy clips. Put those right here on the side. And I'm going to put one of them on here to hold my ends so my beads don't go flying off. Let's see. So let me go ahead and start with a spacer. I think that's probably the best way to start, because I can always add to the other side. So now I just need to figure out how I'm going to do my sections here. Let's see. Let's try to put something together. Let's see if we use, because I do have to make 3 strands. And I don't think I want them all the same. I'm not sure yet. But let's see if I do 2 gray. I'm just trying to kind of create some kind of a little pattern here. Maybe break it up with a little bit of the beads. I really think it would be pretty with a 2 strand, but I don't know how that would work. I may be able to, because of the way the beads are a little bit bigger. I may be able to do just 2 strands and skip the middle one. So let's see. Let's continue to work and see how this is going to look. I'm trying to figure out if I want more gray or more black. Let's go with this first. Let's do a gray bead. I want to see if these bead caps look good on the surrounding this, or maybe I should see. I think these bead caps are going to be too small for the black, so let's see how it looks with this. If we don't like how it looks, we can always backtrack and take it off. But I figured if I incorporated a little bit of silver in between, it kind of makes it like a little station. So let me go ahead and put this one. And then we'll do another little station with the bead cap and that filigree bead. The only thing with filigree beads is you have to make sure you're going through the exact center and not off into one of the little side holes. I've done that in a project before and didn't realize it until after I finished the entire project. That was very frustrating. Okay, so let's see. So we have a section done right here. Let me see if I can get that closer for you. There you go. I really like how that looks. I think those silver bead caps around the gunmetal filigree beads look really pretty. All right, so let me do, let's see. Trying to decide if I should put, let's see, decisions. Maybe a smaller black bead on each side of the gray, and that'll bring in some more black. Let me try that. Let's take this little bead buddy off over here. Take this one off. I'm trying to get it into where y'all can see what I'm doing. So I think, let me put another bead on this side. So that would be the section. I think that looks actually kind of pretty. I like the black frame in that. I don't want to put too many of these. And I think the smaller black beads frame it kind of nicely. So I think that that's going to be the section. So let me put, like I said, I'm not used to doing this. I usually have a plan, somewhat of a plan in place before I start. But this was kind of like, I said, well, let me do something a little different. And y'all can let me know if this is fun for y'all to see the creative process. If not, I'll go back to having my plan ahead of time. But like I said, this week was just kind of crazy. And I just didn't, I didn't get on it like I should have. But anyway, so I will go ahead and do another station just like I did here. Use the bigger gray bead. And then we're going to frame those filigree bead caps with the silver, the filigree beads, I'm sorry, with the silver bead caps. Making sure I go through the right hole in that filigree bead. Nothing more frustrating than finish your project, finishing it off with everything, and then you realize, uh-oh, I made a mistake. I didn't undo the whole thing, but it's okay. I've undone many of projects and changed my mind on things. All right, Sometimes these filigree beads I find are so tricky. Do y'all have problems with the filigree beads? Let me know in the comments below. Sometimes, like I said, you have to get them right in that middle hole and not coming out through the side. I think the one time I did do a video where I kind of didn't have an idea. I mean, I kind of had a slight idea, but didn't have the full picture. And then I think I got to talking and missed a bead color or something, and y'all pointed it out to me, and I was like, you see, that's why I can't talk and bead. All right, let's see. So I have another section. Let me just make sure that I have it all correct. Yes, and so then I would put this one on. Really, my original plan was wanting to make a double strand necklace, but then I found these really pretty spacers. But I'm thinking, okay, so if I do another row up top, do I want it to look the exact same, or should I do opposite? I wish I was live so that y'all could tell me what to do. Like, y'all could give me your opinion. And then, see, I could do another section and put this on the end. But I think this is kind of a nice sizing wise. I don't know if it would be too much. Let me hold it up to myself right quick and just see how far. You know what? I think it does need one more section. I think it really does need one more section. So I'm going to do one more and put that fourth one. And then this will be like the middle area instead of the bar being a middle area. So let me go ahead and do another station of the black and silver. The bigger gray. And then we're going to do, again, the bead cap. The filigree bead. I have not even had a chance to watch everybody's videos yet for yesterday. I worked at the hospital. I still in PRN. I know y'all know I have a new job, and I started working, and I absolutely love it. But I still stayed on PRN at the hospital just for now until they decide to do whatever they're going to do, but with our section. But so I did work a 12-hour shift yesterday, and then after my 12-hour shift, we went to the movies. So I had planned on filming last night, but by the time we got back from the show, I was just exhausted. So I said, well, I'm going to get up this morning and take my time and make it. I didn't want to hurry up and rush last night and just kind of put something out, so I figured I'd take my time. All right, so now we have a nice bigger section of the beads. I think that's going to be really pretty, and then I think the chain will finish it off on the outer part. So now I need to decide. I don't think I'm going to need 3 sections because I think the beads that I use are a little bit bigger, which actually works out a lot better. And I am going to have to find something on this end to tie all. Well, no, I don't have to tie all 3 if I want to use multiple chains. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So now I need to figure out, do I need to do the same pattern, or do I want to do an opposite pattern and do the bigger gray and a smaller black and do the smaller section at the top, if that makes sense. So let me get another strand and then do, let's see. Let me see how I'm going to figure this out. I don't know if I want the filigree beads to be right on top of each other or not. That's my dilemma. Do I want that to be like that? What I need to do is create a pattern here of how I want this to look. So if I did this with another small black bead and no bead cap, I'm just not liking how that looks right there. So could I do possibly a filigree bead, the black and the silver, and then a smaller black. Let's see. I'm trying to figure it out. Listen, I know y'all are probably yelling at me what to do right now, and I wish I could hear y'all. I truly wish I could hear y'all right now. Let's see. I'm just worried that this is gonna be, if if I needed it to be over here, then what am I going to do about this middle part? Do I just continue to do black and gray like that and do the stations, or would it be too much? All right, think, Angela, think. Okay, I'm going to put this off to the side and think on that, but let me see if I did it exactly the same way as I did it on this row, how it looks. And I'm going to put a bead buddy on the end of here so I don't lose these beads. I'm going to put a little bead clip over here on this station, right like that. And also I'm going to put one, I think, on the other side so that this one just doesn't go flying all over the place, just in case. Since I am working in the same bead here, and not the same bead, but the same, you know, I'm going to be tugging on it and moving it around a little bit, working through this, what you call it, multi-strand bead. All right, so let's try to do the same station and see how that looks. I just don't want the two gray ones to be, or should I? This is what I'm talking about. Like, I will undo things constantly until I can figure out what it is I'm wanting to do. And I think I just messed up whatever I had over here. No, there it is. Okay, that's what I had. Maybe if I decided to alter the bigger gray and the smaller black, and then did the stations, maybe it would fit better. Let me see how that looks if I do opposite. I think that'll fit better than having the two big ones right side by side. So let me do this. Like I said, we can always backtrack and undo if we don't like it. But I hate for those two, I hate for the two big beads to be on top of each other, and then it would like not fit correctly, if that makes any sense. Definitely wouldn't get 3 strands out of this the way I'm doing it with these bigger beads. If I use smaller beads, of course, it would probably have worked 3 strands, but let's see. All right, so since I did the smaller black, I think that I'm gonna do, no, I'm just gonna have to do maybe the gray in the middle. Right, yes, okay. And then once you get the pattern, smooth sailing from there, right? I hope this is not boring for y'all to have to watch. Let's see, and then I'm gonna do the same thing I did on this side. I'm gonna do the smaller black and the larger gray. And I think that might be a nice station. Let's see. And then it gives you that contrast a little bit on the size and color. It's not the exact same. Let's see how that looks. All right, so there we go. I think I kind of like that. It did work with the 2 strands with the bigger bead. So technically I could have used the same exact pattern, but I'm thinking that I like the little bit of the contrast here. And then it's the 2 bigger beads in the middle that are different colors. So I think I'm going to go ahead with that. I think I like that. Yeah, I think I do. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my stations. Just doing the same thing here. The gray, smaller black. I'm going to follow my pattern. Bead cap. Filigree bead. And a bead cap. Then we're going to do the opposite of here. We're going to do the gray bead. This is going to be quite a fancy necklace. I think I'm going to have to tell the hubby to take me out somewhere and wear this. All Alright, and then I'm going to do the smaller black bead and the larger gray. This is so pretty. This would be pretty to do all the way around, but I do want to incorporate some chain. You really can't see chain in the back of your neck, I mean the necklace in the back of your neck unless you have your hair up, but, you know. Alright, so let's see, we have one more section to go, and we started off with the big gray. The black. This is the time of year here in Louisiana where they start having all of our festivals and stuff. This weekend they had the French Quarter Festival, the Strawberry Festival in Ponchatoula, which is really fun to go to. We're not going this year, but we usually do in the past years. We've always gone, and that's a fun festival. They are having a book fair at one of our convention centers here at the Pontchartrain Center, and I think that I may go after I'm finished my video and see. It's all donated books, and the money, and they sell the books really cheap, and then the money goes back to the library and stuff. So I think I may go take a ride and see what kind of fun books I can find. I'm hoping to find some beading books. I love to look for old beading books and craft books, and I like cookbooks as well. What kind of books do you like to read? Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested. Does anybody out there like to read like I do? I do like to read. Now, most of my books that I read now are on my iPad, just because it's easier to see at night when when I lay down to try to read. But I do like books too. You know, I mean, who doesn't like? I mean, if you like to read, I'm pretty sure you like to have that book in your hand sometimes. All right, so let me hold this up. That is really, really pretty. Very, very pretty. All right, so let's see how we're going to decide to end this. Now, I think it's, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to be really careful I don't pull this wire out completely. Maybe I can clip them both on this side together. That way at least one side won't go flying. Because y'all know it's not a video if I don't drop something, right? Alright, so what am I gonna do with as far as chain? See, I pulled out both when I was thinking that it was going to be a 3-strand, because I said, well, I can use 2 of one color and 1 in the middle. I do have some silver in there, but I'm thinking I really am going to like the gunmetal more with this combination, pulling out that gunmetal in those filigree beads. And I will go good with my clasp. So I think that I'm going to try to tie it in with the gunmetal chain. Oh boy, I have some pieces in here that I must have cut for something else. So let me see. Oh no, are these all? Oh, these must just be links. I must have bought something with just links. Okay, well, I thought I had chain. So, plan B. Alright, let's see. And I do have chain somewhere. I just don't know exactly where. So, what can I do here? What we can do is, let's see. Oh, is somebody yelling at me? Let me see if the silver is links too. Haha. It is links. So, you know what? We can alternate, right? Let's get creative here. Okay, so I am not going to end it with just this and start adding chain from the end. I think I want to, let's see, what we're going to do, ladies. Do I tie this in with like a big bead in the middle, or do I do a bead on each strand? Let's see. If I do a bigger bead, maybe the black. Well, if I'm going with, let's try the black. Let's see if it looks funny by putting both strands into here. Oh yeah, that definitely looks funny. It's not going to go. Okay, so I'm going to go back with the, do I want to put black or do I want to put silver, or should I? Should I put a silver? No. black on this side and silver on this side. Okay. Yes, I think that'll close off that kind of, what am I trying to say? It'll match up to the connector there. When they're pulled together like that, it'll be the right size. Alright, so I'm going to use the smaller beads, and then I'm going to actually get some, what am I getting, Angela? Crypt bead. And how are we going to do this? Do we want to put, are our links all the same length? That would be a good question. Good thing to figure out first. They should be, since they're all links. I think I do remember buying some link chains, like some connector chains. And these are good. I think what I bought these for is actually extenders on the back of a necklace, like if you want to put an extender. So I think that's what these actually are, which is kind of cool. They're already cut into pieces for me. Let me measure. It should be like 2-inch pieces. Let's see if I remember correctly now. Actually, they are about 2.5 inches per section. So if I want to add this first piece of chain, how many inches do I have? Kind of reminds me of how many licks does it take to get to a Tootsie Roll Pop? let me see, how many inches do I have? I have about, yeah, I have 7 inches for the middle. So what would I need left? 7 and 7 would be 14. So I need about 9 inches. Right? 9. That would be a 16. No, probably about 10 to 11. And then I have some extra length for the clasp. So if I did 11 more inches, that would be, try to line up over here on my, I have a ruler off to the side, how many pieces of chain it would take. That way I can know how I have to alternate. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's going to take me 5, and I'm sorry y'all can't see this part. I'm just trying to, 5 would be 13 inches, so that would be almost 20 inches for the length, which would probably be a nice standard length for the neck. It would be 17 without it. I could add an extender, but this is going to give me a harder time putting in kind of an extender chain. I would have to put a really big extender. And I don't think I want to do that. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be an odd number. If I did 3 on each side, that's going to make it kind of long. But if I only needed 2 pieces, it's not going to make it very colorful. Because it would just be... Give me a second, guys. Let me figure this out. Right. So, if I put a piece of chain and connect it... Oh, I could give it a little extra length if I connect a little section in between of bead. Right? Maybe I could do a little section of the bead cap. Do I want to do that? You know, I don't know if I want to mix the chain colors. I think I'm going to stick with the gunmetal. But I think that I'm going to incorporate a little bit more silver by adding that station in between there on a let me grab a head pin or eye pin. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Alright, so the first thing I grabbed out was some thin little ball pin. But I can go ahead and cut off the little end and make it a wrap. What I'm going to do is I am going to probably put my beads on first. Let me go ahead and put a bead cap. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, let's see. I'm going to twist this around. Didn't leave myself very much for a wire wrap. Okay, I'm going to start over because I don't think I left myself enough room. What's the best way to do this? Let's see. If I'm going to snip off that other end, I think I'm going to put my bead cap on before I snip off that bead. Put on another one. And then I think I'm going to come over here and do a little wire wrap. Connect my chain. Get a piece of chain and connect it. Alright. Then I'm going to hold it and twist around. Now, like I said, these are very thin, so I can twist this around without having to use pliers or anything. Just kind of twist that around there. If you need some help, you can get yourself some pliers and help twist that around. Just make sure that when you finish twisting it, and like I said, you can get another set of pliers and kind of help you get that around if you need to. I twisted the first loop. My camera's probably not focusing on that. I'm just kind of helping it along, twisting it around. Make sure that you tuck the end in so that it doesn't catch on anything. Let me get my flat nose pliers and tuck that in. Alright. Oh, a little tuck. There we go. And then I'm going to slide those beads down to the other side. I think that helped me do that a little bit better, a little bit easier. Since I didn't have just a piece of wire. And then I am going to take my other piece of chain and make my loop over here and make my wire wrap. Straighten that out. Bring it around. Now I hear SpongeBob in my head. Bring it around town. Oh, gosh. Alright, and then taking my pliers, I'm just going to wire wrap that around. Moving my chain out the way, I think. Did it come out of there? Let's see. Doesn't feel like it's tight on there. I think it came out. Alright, so let me backtrack just a little bit. Get the chain on the other side of the loop. Hold that. Get down there, bead cap. Alright, now I think I got it. I think I let it loose. And then just keep bringing it around until you get it nice and snug against that bead cap. You don't want your bead cap to move. Oops. So I probably do have an extra like little wire wrap on this side, which is no big deal. It kind of blends in. I kind of like that about the gunmetal too, since it's dark. It's not that big of a deal. Like this little loop may be a little bit bigger than the other side, but it's okay because it kind of blends in with the chain. Alright, so let me clip that little extra piece that I had on this side, and then I'll tuck it because it is kind of long. Just clip that a little bit. I'm going to use my flat nose pliers to get in there and squeeze down the end. Okay, so now I have this piece of extension chain, and it's got a little bit of a decorative touch in the middle. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Actually, I'm going to do 4 more pieces. I'm going to go ahead and pause here so you don't have to watch all that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, pretties, I'm back. I did make the 4 links for the chain, for 2 for each side, and of course, off camera, it went a lot more smoothly than the one I did on camera, because I can hold it closer to my face. But anyway, I did make the 4 links, so I have those. And as I was sitting here thinking about it and trying to curve it around, I said, you know, self, I thought about it. This strand has to be slightly shorter than the bottom one for it to curve nicely and not have any gaps. So I think before I end it off, I'm going to take off this gray bead, the larger gray bead, and just leave the smaller black ones. And I'm going to see how that does when I put it back on and lay it down. I think that may be what it needs to curve more and be just slightly, because you want your inner, when you're making multiple rows or multiple necklaces, you need one to be slightly shorter. So I think once I take this gray bead off on this side, and I'm kind of glad we did end with those larger ones, because that did give me a little bit more wiggle room. So if I put this one back on that side, I took those gray ones off of the middle. And I think now when it goes to curve on the neck, that will be the right curvature on the neck. I needed that last bead to be off. I probably could have done, let's see, if I wanted it to be a little bit more like, well, you can't have it too short though, because these are not 2 single necklaces. They're connected with the connector. So I think by doing that, I think that's going to work right. By taking that one off, it gives it a little bit of curvature. Because I noticed when I was looking at it, I was like, that's going to be really stiff when I go to curve it up. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some of these, some of my crimp beads in the gunmetal. Whoop, kind of poured a few too many out there, but that's okay. I'll pick them up later. You also get to see my mess of a board when I'm when I'm in the creating process. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a crimp on the end and put one of my links. Now this is where I'm going to put my bead buddy back on this side, because I want to crimp it kind of close to the end. In case I was to need to undo anything for any reason, I could. Oh, look. I need to put beads here. I forgot. So I'm ending in black now, since I have black on the ends. I'm going to go with the gray this time, just because I want it to be alternating. It actually works out a little bit better this way. So, all right. Now I'm going to use my crimp bead. I think I need bigger ones than that. I think I'm going to go with the next size up. Those are kind of small. I'm decided not to put clamshells. I think I'm just going to use the crimps because they are gunmetal and they're next to the gray bead. It shouldn't show that much. It's going to kind of look like a flat bead. Okay. Move that off to the side. Alright, so I'm going to take this first strand and I'm going to put my crimp bead on. Take one of my stations, link it through the bottom chain like that. Go back through my crimp bead. And I don't need a lot of hangover, so I'm just going to kind of bring it down to the end, holding both of my pieces of wire from both ends. It went through the bead, around the chain, and now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and just crimp that bead flat. Just like that. I'm just going to squeeze it together flat, and it actually looks like it could be a part of the chain. So that's why I'm not going to go ahead and bother with a clamshell. I think it would actually look more unfinished with a clamshell. Alright, so I'm going to actually go ahead and take another crimp bead and do the same thing to this chain. And I was thinking too, when I was making these links, I was like, one of them may need to be shorter than the other, again, for that, for the back of the neck. But I can always just take off a couple of links of the chain if I need to. So we'll figure that out when we get to that part. But let me go ahead and put this back through the crimp bead here. I have my wire. I'm just going to bring it down, holding on to both of those wires to the end of the chain. Get my flat nose pliers and crimp that flat. Bring these beads down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide all these beads down. Make sure that I have these ends of the wire tucked into the bead. You can clip it off. I usually just run it back through a couple of the beads. That's why I went down further on it. So I wouldn't have to cut off like a long tail or anything. Okay, so those are snug now. We have our 2 pieces of chain. And then again, I'm just going to slide the rest of them down. So I have the wires tucked in. That is so pretty. I really like how this is coming out. Alright, so on this end, I'm going to take this bead buddy off and put a gray bead on each side of this station. Alright, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side with my other 2 pieces of chain. And I really like that little station in the middle. It just breaks up that chain a little bit. Or in our case, it connects the chain for a little bit. Because I had it, I had pieces of chain and not a full chain. Which it ended up working out. We'll make it work. Make it work with what I had out already. I could, like I said, I could have pulled more chain in, out and had just a plain piece of chain. But I kind of like that added touch in the middle. I think it's really pretty. Alright, so now I have to bring this tail end to the very end. I'm actually going to run it through one of these beads before I clip it off. Let's see. Just run it through. Actually, look, it already went through those 3 beads. I'm just going to go with it and pull it a little tight. Not too tight that it won't move at all, but not loose where you see, you know, your string, your wire. You don't want to see that. But this is the first side. This is the outer side. So I just need to make sure that I have a little bit of room. There's no gaps to where I see wire, but it's not too tight that it's going to pop or not move at all. So I'm going to go ahead and, since I have that where I need it, I'm going to get my flat nose pliers and crimp that bead flat. And then I can take my wire cutters and come and snip this little piece of wire under the bead. Okay, so that side's done. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side. I really did need to take that gray bead off. I'm glad I took that off. Alright, and then, because it really would have been kind of wonky. It would have been too much the same length, and it wouldn't have laid flat on the neck, so. Alright. I have my crimp bead on. I'm going to go back through the crimp bead. Well, I said I was. If I can catch it, just want to run away. And don't squish me. Alright, let's see, here we go. And then I'm going to go back to, oh no, did I lose my gray bead in the process? I sure did. Well, I guess that's what I dropped. I dropped the gray bead. Told you it wasn't a video if I didn't drop something. Let me get that, it escaped. Alright, now we got it. Get the crimp bead. Get the chain. I cannot see myself doing this video last night after work and going to the show. This would have been a disaster. This would have been a disaster, y'all. I don't think I would have created the same necklace had I done this last night. Alright, I'm going to go through one bead. Actually, I like how it worked out going through the spacer bar and the other bead. So let me go through one more and pull it through. I know it probably doesn't give it stability. It just makes, to me, it makes it feel like it does. Alright, so, and it can't hurt to go through a couple of extra beads. Alright, so I am now going to make sure, again, that it's not too tight. It still curves. It still lays on the neck. It's going to lay really pretty on the neckline, I think. I think that's going to be really pretty. I'll put it on the bust form when I'm done, but alright, so that is down. I don't have any spaces, but it still is a little flexible. It still does move a little bit. So I am going to crimp it down. Actually, it did have a little wiggle room, so I do have to pull it just slightly tighter. Up here, it was too much wire next to the chain. Alright, and then I am going to go ahead and cut this excess wire off. And now we have our added chain on both sides. Let me hold up this to my neck right quick to see. Alright. That is so pretty. I really like it. I think it's going to lay really nice on the bust. Alright, so I got all these pieces of chain everywhere. My mess. Okay, so let's try to move these beads out the way so we can figure out how we're going to end this. So this is kind of how it's looking so far. Let's see. Maybe if I move the tray out the way, y'all will be able to see a little bit better without all the distraction mess. Let's see. Put that on the floor, which is probably not the best place for it, but that's okay. Alright, so now we have our chain. So this is actually going to be, let's spread it out a little bit. See what we're working with here. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I do think that, let's see. Gosh, that would be such a pretty bracelet. And you know what? I only had one of these bead caps left. I must have had a packet of 25, and I only needed 24 after I did the stations. Alright, so I'm just trying to figure out my length of chain here, if I need to clip off any of the inside chain. I don't think so. I think I will be able to add my, I think I'm going to get some big jump rings here. I have these really big ones, and I think that that will work good with the clasp. It can jump, it can connect to that big jump ring. So I think I'm going to use that on one side, and then I may use a little bit of a smaller one to connect this side to here. But I think I am going to, let's see, let's go ahead and open up this jump ring. Let me get my jump ring open. I'm going to put both sides, both of the chains in the ring, and close that up. Make sure it's closed good. You don't want it to slip off of your chain. Alright, so there's my jump ring. On this side, I believe I am going to add a little bit smaller of a jump ring, because the clasp is so big that I don't need to add more length. This is just connecting the clasp. The clasp is connecting to this bigger jump ring, which is why I wanted that to be big. Let's see. I just had, oh, I was going to say, I just had my ring. Where did it go? Alright, so I'm going to open that jump ring, put on the toggle clasp, add our chains. Nope. And I think I'm going to add one chain to this side of the jump ring, of the clasp, and one on this side, and I think it'll lay better, if that makes sense. Or maybe it's all in my head. Who knows? Who knows? They're probably going to end up on the same side anyway. Alright. They will. Let me go ahead and close this up. And I will say this is a heavy, kind of a heavy clasp. So what I may do is just put a touch of some E6000 or a touch of the GS Hypo Cement glue, just so that it can kind of help bond that jump ring closed, so that it doesn't pull apart. And I'll do that after the video, just to put a little touch of glue right there in the middle of that jump ring to give it a little bit more stability. Alright, and so there is the clasp that can attach to the big jump ring. I really like that clasp. And I like the necklace. I really like how it came out with those little added stations on there. Now, I may have twisted this when I linked it, so let me see. Because we don't want to twist our chain. We want it to be laying pretty. So, I did have it twisted. Okay, so when we connect it, we're going to connect it like this. And then our stations will lay flat, and that is our necklace part. I will take a picture and add it to the Facebook group. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel so you can see all my upcoming videos. Also, if you're not in the Facebook group, join my Facebook group. Again, the link is down in the description box. And I do have sales from time to time. I do plan on doing another sale next weekend. So if you're not in the group and you like jewelry making supplies, join that Facebook group. Lots of great sales, lots of cool things coming up to be posted. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you are enjoying the jewelry collaboration challenge for this year, the double color challenge. Again, if you are participating, I love seeing everybody's projects, and definitely use that hashtag so that everyone can find you very easily. And if you're coming from my channel to another, if you go into another one of the ladies that are participating, subscribe to their channel as well. That's it helps everybody get noticed a little bit more on YouTube. Comments help, all that helps. All the thumbs up and the watches and stuff. So again, there's the paper if you'd like to start joining in with us, and I hope to see you next time, guys. Bye.